Beautiful. Thank you, buddy. All right, everybody. We are now moving over to YouTube. We're streaming live. This is going to be a great morning huddle on agency expansion. Remember, Fridays are always about how to build out your agency. And we've got one of our expert quarterbacks on today who focuses on agency expansion as well as getting customers. But she's a pro. She earns a tremendous amount of passive income in DAC from her agency expansion. So no one better than someone who's built a team, led an agency, duplicated an agency, teaches an agency, not just getting clients, but building a team who gets clients. No one better to have coach than a coach who lives it, not just a coach who reads about how to live it and then parrots it. She actually lives it, depends on it, relies on it, and does it while also owning another business. No excuse, team. We all have enough time. Ellen Wynn, going to talk about how to go from streams to rivers. Ellen, how you doing today? Love having you.
I'm doing excellent, David. Thank you. Love your enthusiasm. Thank you for that introduction. Hey, everybody. Welcome, DAC family. I've been with DAC for a little over 8 years now, and I'm excited to be your quarterback today. Yeah, and I love building teams. Last week I was talking about working yourself out of a job and how I got out of the restaurant space where I was a traditional business owner and transitioned into a home-based business because of this industry. And it's been a full-time income stream for me for several years. When I first got started in the home-based business arena, it was through a network marketing company. David has talked about his experience with those product-based companies where you had to build teams. But guys, back then, I learned how to recruit from day one because in those product-based companies, a lot of that is internal consumption. And for you to get paid in those companies, you had to go recruit other distributors because a lot of times the products are overpriced versus what you could buy on Amazon or at Walmart or Target or wherever you shop. And to get someone to buy your product, which is what essentially paid the money, was to recruit a new distributor and sell them a distributor pack where you get paid for recruiting and you'd get paid for whatever product pack they bought to get started. So that's how I was introduced to the home-based business industry. That's one of the things that I love about DAC is that we don't have to do any of that. All of our income is derived from the end consumer taking advantage of the products that we offer, something that they need, something that they can't get from their local bank, and we've got the best solution for them with our funding program. But in that, it makes one of the most incredible business opportunities in my view, across the country because DAC provides us everything that we need to be successful as an independent broker. It's a free opportunity. The training, the websites, all of that, the mentoring is provided for free. And David has shared his story on this. I too have done the same where I paid hundreds or thousands of dollars to attend seminars and conventions and bought whatever they were selling because the leader told me that this would help me be more successful and help me make more money. And most of that is just putting money into somebody else's pocket and not our own. And DAC doesn't operate that way. We operate with integrity, and what we teach you works. And none of us are out here trying to get you to go spend a bunch of money that's not going to put extra money in your pocket. We've got our convention at sea coming up, and you can actually earn that for free if you go out and get busy getting customers and helping your team get customers. So today, I want to talk about those income streams that we always talk about. We hear about passive income and passive income streams. Last week, when I was talking, I ended my conversation with how you could earn big chunks of money here at DAC, comparing it to selling real estate, right? The big chunks of money can come not only from what you earn in personal commissions, where you can earn commissions with a comma in it time and time again, where you can earn, gosh, I've got a broker in my team that earned $15,000 on one funding. And that kind of money is rare, but it's possible, okay? But not only can you earn that on your own production, but you can earn big chunks of money with our passive income here as an agency owner and an agency override with that override spread. So I want to go through that. That's how you can turn it from streams with just a little trickle of extra income coming in to where it's a river opening up the floodgates for you to be able to generate passive income stream that keeps paying and paying and paying. And reminding you, if you think about the cash flow quadrant, you've got the four quadrants where you're active, the left side of the quadrant, you're actively working and trading time for money to earn your income. And that's where you fall into if you're just doing this on your own as an independent broker, right? But when you move over to the right side of the quadrant where you're starting to earn money and leverage your time and energy, that's where you're building a business and you've got passive income streams where you get paid whether you're actively working or not. And you want to get to that side of the quadrant as quickly as possible. And you can definitely do that here with DAC. Let me give you an example of a recent funding that just took place and show you how the commission worked on this. Now, when I talk about commissions or when we do on Fridays, I encourage you to have your commission document in front of you where you've got your override spreads there showing you the different ranks that you can achieve. If you don't have that out already in a notebook printed in a 3-ring binder like I do, then you can just draw some circles on a piece of paper, okay? So draw a circle, and the broker that referred this client, the client got funded. It turned into $6,000 bonus revenue to get paid out in the compensation plan. So write down bonus revenue of $6,000. The referring broker is getting paid at 40%. They are a general agency. That's 40% commission on that commission ladder, right? So that means they're certified broker. 40% of 6,000, they earned $2,400. 2,400 went to the broker that referred the client. Then their enroller, the person that brought them into the business, is a qualified GA3. So that GA3 is at 45% commission level. So they earned that 5% difference for an override spread of $300. And then our compensation plan and our system looks up line, looking up the line for the next qualified broker that has at least 1,000 in revenue, rolling 6-month revenue, and is certified. And it went 3 levels up before it found someone in the up team that was qualified. That person happened to be an SGA, which SGAs earn 70%. So there was a 25% override spread paid to that next person 3 levels up. And that paid out $1,500 to the upline SGA. And then after that SGA, it continues looking upline, the system does, looking upline, and ended up going 5 levels up to find that final qualified certified broker eligible to earn a 10% override. And that was the upline NMO, who gets paid at 80%. So $600 went there. Now, that's just the override spreads. Remember, on the 15th of every month, we get paid residual income through our 5-level pay. So next month, on that 5-level pay commission, up to $720 additional dollars could be paid out on this one funding. So if you add it all up, we've got 80% that went out through the override spreads up to the NMO, and then up to an additional 12% that can get paid out through the 5-level pay. So 92% of that bonus revenue could potentially get paid out as long as there are people that are qualified to earn that in the compensation plan. Now, that's a lot of money getting paid. Think about all those different individuals. How many of those individuals actually had their hands on that client? Only the referring broker in most cases. Sometimes it may involve an enroller, or it may involve an upline team leader that does a 3-way call with the client. But most of our fundings take place with the client just simply going through the website, and then the Bank Breezy team is taking over and hand walking that client through any questions that they have, helping them get the documents, clarifying the documents if they need that. And Bank Breezy team does the majority of the work. So think about how many commissions got paid out with one word of mouth referral that got paid to that enroller that brought, or to the referring broker that came in. Now, that's just an example. DAC average override, according to what David tells us, is about $300. So how many $300 commission chunks do you need coming in on a monthly basis to really make a huge impact in your financial situation? We talk about the average household needing an additional $500 to make it past that break-even point. And if you could earn 300 as a DAC broker that's building a team, how could that impact? What if you had 10 active brokers in your organization that were doing fundings? 10 times 3, that would be an extra $3,000 a month coming in to your commissions. Of course, you've got to get qualified. You've got to do the certification, and you've got to start moving up the compensation ladder yourself by getting fundings. But guys, I've been here for 8 years. This business didn't just happen for me overnight. I've been consistently plugging away. Started out on day one, building an agency and helping that agency get plugged into the training system that DAC offers. So your key to moving from income streams to rivers is really digging in, taking advantage of DAC, and continuously looking. I want to share real quick before I close out here. I want to share something. I mentioned last week that I had a new broker that I had a conversation with. He was going to be signing up with us. He and I go to the same gym, and we've been in the same group playing golf before. So we connected on that. But he got in on Nick's Zoom this week and was listening, and he said that I was able to get on the Zoom. That was a great message. This definitely reminds me of my recruiting days in the Air Force. And I had some nice words to say about Nick, and then he came back and responded, and he said, I had to learn that it's okay to talk to many people to get one recruit. I know that a person that I talked to today could come through 3 to 6 months later. As long as I'm talking, the fish will bite. And I love that analogy because that's the way this business works. When you talk to people about whether it's about the funding or whether it's about the opportunity, they may not be ready today. Prime example, Harlequin Murray. You see Harlequin on here almost every day offering something up on the huddles. I personally enrolled Harlequin, and she's on my front line. But when I talked to her the first few days after I signed up with DAC, timing wasn't right for her. So it was a year later before things on her plate had opened up and she was open to the DAC opportunity. But I encourage you, don't give up. Keep putting it out there. Keep spreading those seeds. Keep spreading the message and build an agency, because that agency override can pay you on a daily basis. I look at my commissions, and almost daily I'm getting a commission override from what the team does. I always get the pay on the 15th of the month because I stay qualified there. And I periodically get personal commissions because I'm actively getting customers on my own. So do the DAC plan. Do everything that we offer here as an opportunity, and you too can have great success here.
Thanks for jumping on with that story. Everyone, Harlequin, Erica, everyone who shared at the beginning, Precious, thanks for jumping on. It's getting on early is so critical because it does allow all of us to hear some energy other than just the speakers. That's why we open up early. McGuire last week, first broker update is, he mentioned last week, we're opening up 10 minutes before the huddle as an opportunity for all of us to come forward and share. And if that doesn't start turning into a great use of time, we're going to start opening up 3 or 4 minutes early, and it won't be an opportunity. I don't want to do that because part of the benefit is hearing other people's stories, but we're not having many of you jump on and share. And it tends to be the same 2 or 3 people, and they're not the only ones on who are having success. There's a lot of people having success, and for whatever reason, they don't want to share it. And that we get it, but we don't want vacant time prior. So the first broker update is, if you want that first 10 minutes to continue, be active. Otherwise, we're going to pull it. I don't want McGuire wasting 10 minutes. I don't want to waste 10 minutes. I don't want any of you wasting 10 minutes. Signal, noise. No, it's noise if it's not benefiting. And signal means we're doing only the things that purely create the outcome we're trying to get for the effort we're putting in, not just pacify understanding, right? We're not just trying to be here to say, look, we're here, we're supporting you all. That's wasting our corporate team's time if that supporting you all isn't generating the outcome we want during that signaled time. All right. So that's the first broker update. Is the first 10 minutes will go away if it doesn't start to get utilized more. We moved it from the back to the front because it was becoming a half-hour Q&A session that was the same questions that are in certification, same questions you can get from your enroller, and it wasn't turning into the team etiquette that we wanted. So we moved it to the front end, hoping the team etiquette would pick up. So first broker update is come there and share and encourage your team come and share. Otherwise, no reason to come 10 minutes early, right? For any of us. So that's first broker update. Second broker update, and I've got a handful of them here. Effective today, you're going to start getting an upline leadership email, up agency leadership email, if your teammate has a new customer started. So you get one now if you're the SGA, MGA, and above. You're notified if you have a new broker starting in your team, so you can reach out. But our programmer just completed. And by the way, we had some issues with our programmers team and some health and some different things that they were dealing with, which delayed some of this, but including the contest points. But it's all done now. Contest points are live. You can see them now in your back office. You can look at your personal points. You can look at your team points. And you're also going to get an up team email starting later today. I just typed up what it's going to say. That's all he was waiting on me to edit his email to say what we wanted to say. Then he was going to take it live. So that'll be going live today. It may already be live, which means if a new customer starts anywhere in your agency, if you're the up agency leader, you'll be notified, hey, Joe Smith has a new application started. So you'll start to see who your most active brokers are. Right now, you only get notified if they get a funding. Right. So this is our first step, the fastest step to notifying you as a leader. Hopefully you get a bunch of emails. I get a ton of emails. New broker started, new broker started, new broker started. Right. And it's great because I can see who the enroller is and I can see the new broker. I can reach out to them, welcome aboard. And after you get certified, let's do a three-way call. That's pretty much what I tell every new broker who starts. And it's a shame that only about a third take us up on that. Right. Because it's just the numbers. But the third that do want to get after it. We want to help them win. So that new email will be going live today. Look for it. As you reach higher levels, you'll get that email. Until you're there, you don't get it. But we had to say who gets it. Certain leaders get it. It's number one. Number two, the LMS update. The contest points update already live. You can go look in your team or go look at your portal and you'll see personal points. If you click on it, it'll show you the clients you've gotten in the points. If it's 0, you click on it, it'll show you nothing because you don't have clients right now. Under contest points right below it, if you click on that, it'll drop down and it'll show you all your personally enrolled brokers that you've enrolled since the contest started in their points, even if they got 0. So even if they got 0, they'll show you who the brokers are. So one strategy is you're not sure who you get points on, click on your contest points. It'll show you all your personally enrolled brokers that you've enrolled since the contest went live. It'll also show you how many points they got. You can reach out, help them qualify to win the cruise and get yourself half points for doing so, right? So that's the contest points. LMS update. Tyler's away on for vacation for this weekend. We were going to launch this LMS, the new LMS yesterday. The QBs and a couple other leaders we've sent it out to look at it, play with it, give us feedback. And so we're getting that feedback and we intend to launch it as soon as he returns Tuesday. So I would expect by Wednesday, unless there's some new known issue that comes up with the QBs playing with it and leaders playing with it, I would assume that by Wednesday it'll be live, the new LMS. All that means is easier certification process, less I won't say clunkiness because it's not too clunky now, but we've gotten the feedback of what causes user error. And so we're trying to do away with those user error things. And some of it was design issues. So we built a whole new LMS from scratch and to do away with that and have non-issues moving forward. As an example, a software update to your phone causes a problem to the old LMS. Simple things like that. Because of the plugins we use to develop it, they don't always update their plugins to work on your phone right away. So you may have a user error. Someone can't log in with their old phone anymore, only their new one. So we've resolved all of that. So use your desktop, number one, if you're ever having a problem. Make sure your emails that you're using is the email that you have on file in the training platform, not in your back office. They're two separate. LMS, back office, two separate systems. You update the email here. It does not update in the LMS. It's a separate portal altogether. Two separate portals. Just like two different bank accounts, you'd have two different sign-ins. Two different portals have two different sign-ins. They're not talking, okay? So you have to sign in with the email at the LMS that you set up with. If you don't remember that, hit password reset. It's going to go to the email you used when you signed up for the LMS, okay? So make sure you're paying attention to that. That's the number one issue we have is people can't remember or they don't realize their password resets going to the email on file at the LMS, not in the back office. Back office, LMS, two separate things. Back office tracks your team, your customers, your commissions, right? No training in it at all. LMS is nothing but learning management. It's your training portal and resources and documents, right? They're not connected. Please make sure your team knows that. It's the biggest, probably the number one support question we get. And unfortunately, there's no way that we can modify that without building a whole new back office, right? Because we use a third party. They don't allow the back and forth exchange of data because we're not the only ones using their third party software. They represent over 100 companies. So we can't just tell them change it, because to change it with one means it's security breaches for all the others. They're not willing to do that for us. So it's going to be separate. Not a whole lot we can do until we build our own new back office, which is slated to be done at some point in the future. It allows us to give you better reporting and all that, but that's down the road. It won't even happen in 26, but it is a new project we will take on and build so that we can give you better reporting. Okay. Also, this is great news. On the core rate 100% discount product, when somebody gets a funding, let's say the bonus revenue, if it wasn't 100% prepayment, would be 10,000 bonus revenue. Okay. And then we pay the commission out on that, right? And you get your 40 to 80% of the $10,000 bonus revenue, right? Yeah. If it's 100% prepayment discount, remember, we only get paid a fourth of it right now. So we'd only get 2,500 bonus revenue right now, right? So we put in 2,500 right now. And if they don't pay it off within 90 days, then we pay you the other 3 times the money. But the way we've done it is just by multiplying what you did earn by 4 and saying, okay, we owe you the difference and pay you checks, you and your up team leader. Okay. Well, what that doesn't do is compensate for the 5 levels. It doesn't add new BR for qualifications or stair-step climbing. So we've been playing with that and said, hey, we need to, even though many times they paid off early and there's not going to be added BR, we've decided going forward, and we've built the process to do it. Thank you, Morgan. This is Morgan's idea and Morgan's process that she put together. She leads up our commissions. Effective immediately, any time we get a core rate product that is, let's say it would be 10,000 bonus revenue, even though we only put 2,500 in right now, if they don't pay it off early, we'll put the other 7,500 in after 90 days, about 100 days, actually. So that means 2 things. Number one, you might be at a higher level now. Now you're going to get a higher pay on that. It's number one. Number 2, it counts toward BR for your climbing the ladder. It counts for your BR for your 6-month qualification. So that buy more time because you didn't get it till month 4. Now you just got more BR. So now you're qualified again. So it's almost like you qualify twice with the same client because it's treated like a renewal. They didn't pay it off early. We get another bonus. So we're going to put the BR in when we get cleared that new bonus, right? So we're going to add new BR. We're going to treat it almost like a renewal. And then 5-level pay as well. It'll help qualify for 6 levels. The up team leaders will get paid if they're qualified for the 5-level. They get paid on it. So we're treating it like a renewal instead of just saying, okay, we paid Ellen $3,000 on that client. We owe her a $9,000 more. We're going to say, okay, we paid her $3,000 because bonus revenue is this, but now we're just going to put the bonus revenue in again. So you'll see the bonus revenue come in a second time, and boom, you'll get paid another time based on the level you are then. All right, so that's great news for all of you for qualifications. That's effective immediately. Let me put my glasses on. I'm looking at my notes. Morgan and I had a call today. Wow. What is that? What is that? Let me turn my blur screen off. I'm going to be going over this in a minute. Morgan, what in the world are these three?
I'm thinking,
what's that?
I'm thinking, my one thing that I was thinking of is just mentioning the recertification.
That's what that says. Certification
refresh. I think that's scribble. Yep.
Funding special and then cruise. I got them. Okay. So last 3 are certification refresh. We had the first week ever, our number of certified brokers went down. Even though we added a bunch of new brokers who got certified and new brokers certified. Why? A bunch got removed. A bunch got removed from certification because their 1 year is up and they're no longer certified brokers. What does that mean? That means if someone in their personally enrolled team gets a client, they won't get the 5%. It means if someone in their team gets a funding, they won't get the override spread. You must be a certified broker. It also means if they get a client or a renewal comes through, they're only going to get 10%. They're not certified brokers anymore. They're a referral partner. So they don't participate in any of the pay plan except 10% personal commission. That's it. And it was dozens of people lost that certification. So every one of you wants to reach out to any brokers in your agency if they've been in with us for over a year and confirm they recertified. How do they do it? They got to go into the back office. They got to go into the LMS. And in the LMS, they have to hit recertify and they have to hit reset data. They got to hit reset data. That starts their recertification process over. Make sure they do that. If they don't know how, there's a document in the LMS Resource Center called recertification process. It's right on the main page of the Resource Center. I'd hate for someone in your team to have a renewal come through and they only get 10% because they're now a referral partner only. And the enroller or whoever in the up team makes that big override spread because they simply got recertified. And I'd hate for them not to get paid on level 1 brokers. Someone goes out and gets a $300,000 funding like just happened. And we had another 300-something thousand funding happening today. It's going to pay out a huge commission. And the enroller wouldn't get the 5% of bonus revenue because they're not certified. So, or the override spread. So make sure you get the word out because too many people are not recertified. Too many are not recertified. And if you're not recertified, you don't get paid as a broker. You get paid as a referral partner, which is one way, 10% of bonus revenue only, and none of the others. Get recertified. Funding special last week for restaurants. It will not be continued. So this is a good reason to reach out to any restaurants in your warm market you've not already told. Who do you know that owns a restaurant that you've not reached out to yet? What restaurant do you go to and went to in the last month that you've not yet told about our funding? There's your 2 prompts. Figure it out and reach out to them. And then the cruise, hey, the cruise is fabulous. We've got over 100 people registered already on the cruise. I didn't know how many people would step up for that. I think there'll end up being 200 to 300 people on by the time we get this to the end. We've got over 100 registered already. So congratulations to those of you who've registered. And let's keep on pressing. And pre-register early, team, because that limits what we can do on ship. Like right now, we've got rooms available that hold 125 people. I can kind of think that we're probably going to surpass that, right? But to go surpass that, we got to make bigger commitments. And I don't want to make those. I don't like making financial commitments that cost us money when we're free. That's bad business. As it is, we're willing to pay for everyone's cruises through production, right? We're not making more from the lenders. We're taking out of our profit margin about 5% of what we get, which is about 20% of what we make, right? So it's actually a little more than 20% of what we make. It's 26% of what we make we're putting toward this cruise. So we're taking all of our profit margin, 26% of it paying for cruises. And hopefully it's going to increase sales. But I can't also now take a bunch of our money and pay for theaters and rooms to hold people. So I just won't do that until we get above 125. Then I'm okay, we need bigger theaters, right? Because we got to pay for all this stuff, right? It's not free. So help me help you have a better event or help us help you have a better event by having your team register early, keep promoting. We ran that great incentive where the cruise was covered. That's gone. I'm sorry, the convention was covered. That's gone. That's no longer part of it. That's how we got it to bump. There were 40 people, bumped to 100 because of that incentive. So great job promoting it, team. And thanks for taking advantage of it, everybody. All right. Those are all the announcements for today. So I'm going to jump right into the next part. Harlequin, thank you so much. Look at this document. It'll be in your back office today. And Harlequin's been asking me for this all week, reminding me, I'm trying to put something together. Please give me that prerequisites document. I got to proofread it. Give me some time. And then she reminded me last night. And I said, I'm talking about it on the Friday call. The document will be done by Friday. So Harlequin, it will be sent. It'll be available soon. So this is now what we're going to talk about here. And this is all in document. There's 3 different categories on here. There are brokers, there are agency starters, and there's local leaders. And all 3 of them have different prerequisites and commitments. All right. And you get to pick which one you are. I just want to share something real quick. The benefit of broker is you're self-employed. Keep in mind the cash flow quadrants. If you've never heard of the cash flow quadrants, real quickly, there's 4 ways you earn money in this world. You can earn it as an employee. You can earn it as a self-employed. I got my tripod on a wheel here, baby. You can earn it as a self-employed. You can earn it as a business owner, and you can earn it as an investor. So employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Here's the key you want everyone to know. The ones on the left have to work to earn. So they trade time. That's a clock. They trade time for money. They're exchanging them. You make a sale, you get paid. You refer a funding client, you get paid. You wash cars, you get paid. You're an electrician, you go do a job, you get paid. You're a limo driver, you drive, you get paid. Right? That's self-employed. Employees, you work a salary, you get paid for your salary, right? You don't work, you don't get paid. In either one of these scenarios, you do not get paid. You're self-employed. Business owner is someone who built a system. Ellen's told you her story. She's got drivers who work for her limo company. Ellen doesn't drive. They do. She still gets paid. Now, she's got to be responsible for the whole thing, but she gets paid on drives that she's not taking. She's built a team of drivers, right? You go, oh, that'd be awesome. You know how much headache she has being a limo? You know how many calls she gets? I can only imagine. I've never been one, but I can only imagine the calls. I need a car at the airport at 1 o'clock tomorrow. What? I don't have a driver. How am I going to do it? And right. So you can only imagine, or a flat tire on the way, or, traffic jam, or all the headaches involved with being a limo company and having a bunch of drivers, insurances and accidents and all kinds of stuff. Right. But is it still worth it? Of course it's worth it. Because you're a business owner. You have the benefit of passive income once it's built. You go, oh, that'd be awesome. You've got even easier opportunity here. Why do you think Ellen's a broker as well? Because she knows you can build an agency here. It's like having a team of drivers, but it's a team of entrepreneurs who work for themselves. They're all self-employed. They're in her agency, and they're in your agency. So by building an agency here, you become a business owner potential. So that's why this says agency starter. You got broker, that's self-employed only. A broker is only one category here, self-employed. An agency starter potentially can add business owner potential only to the effect of the agency is successful. And then local leaders, they're self-employed plus business owner, but the potential is much larger because they're focused on a community-wide, like Ellen is focused on Atlanta, Georgia area as her limo company, not Seattle, It's a lot easier to take care of Atlanta than Atlanta and Seattle and there. Now, if she wanted to teach her model to someone in Seattle that's already a driver and say, hey, I'll teach you how to take what I did in Atlanta and make it in Seattle. I just want to learn a little override on it. I'll help you lead your local market in Seattle. That's called expansion of local markets. That's what you get to do in DAC. See how it applies to it? Doesn't matter whether it's a limo company, a construction company, a roofing company, or you're a funding agency. It's real simple. Learn how to do it as a self-employed broker. Learn how to recruit others who are doing it as a self-employed broker. And then you've got business owner potential because you're earning passive overrides. And then be a local leader, dominate your local marketplace. You have no competition. You're self-employed, yes. Every time you get a client, you get a funding, and give yourself a raise on all your other clients in your team and on your own. Do you realize when you get your first client, you go from 40% to 42.5%? And not only that, you make 42.5% on your next, but you get 2.5% override now on your whole agency in addition to your 5 points. And when you get another client, boom, you're at 45. And not only do you sit at 45 on your next personal client or your renewals or anything else, any new bonus revenue you produce, you get 45% on now, but also you now get the override difference between your 45 and your team's 40. It's 5% on their fundings plus the 4% level one enroller pay paid out on the monthly. You get another client, oh, you're at 47.5 or maybe even 50. Depends on how many clients you've got and how much volume they're doing, right? And if you get to 50, you make 50 on your next client and your renewals. Any new bonus revenue you do, you're at 50. And you make 10% now. You recruit me, a brand new person, you're at 50, I'm at 40. What do you make? 10% override. The day I get paid my 40, you get 10%. It could be 3 days from now, I get my first client, you're getting 10% override. And on the 15th of next month, you get 4% as well because you personally enrolled me. You want to know the pay plan, but the bottom line is you are self-employed, yes. Business owner, yes. Your potential being a business owner is much higher. That's why there's an arrow there. But that is, it's an arrow. The potential is much higher because you're focused on a local market. You have a greater odds of having an effective team. They're not scattered all over. You don't have 20 drivers nationwide trying to figure this out without a local leader. You're focused on making one market successful. You're going to be a successful business owner. Then you teach that to someone in another market, right? And then you're become an investor because you're now earning more than your money. You know, when you're earning money as a business builder with us passively, eventually you earn more than your current bills. You're not earning to pay bills. You're earning to invest in other income producing assets. Maybe your organization. Why am I investing so much into, why am I taking so much of DAC's profit investing into the crews? I'm investing into our asset called our broker team, the relationships, the agency. I'm investing into the agency. Why? Because I think by investing in the agency will get bigger and more effective. Why are we doing this event? To just waste time? Why are we doing this Zoom? To waste time? No, it's to invest into our agency expansion group, our duplication, so that what? It becomes a greater income producing asset. It becomes a more effective income producing asset. We're doing a lot more funding now than we used to do. And then we did a lot more funding than we did prior, right? Because why do we invest so much into the Bank Breezy platform? Why are our fixed costs what they are? Because we want systems to develop and product to be developed for all of you to succeed. Easier. Because then the more average people can get a client within 3 days, 4 days. Why do we teach warm markets so strong? Because it's 10 times easier than cold market. Why do we teach local market? It's 10 times easier than cold market. If you don't teach your team that, what you're doing is basically saying, it's like we're all going to do a relay race. Ever swim a relay? You know, I'm not a very good swimmer, but I was on a little 7, 8-year-old swim team as a kid, learning how to swim, right? Learn how to do the freeze down, take a breath without looking up. I just thought I was the man because I could take a breath without pulling my head out of water. Oh man, that was just, when you knew that, none of my friends did. I was like, I'm so far ahead of everybody, but I was one of the slowest guys on the team. So I digress. But imagine this, we're all going to set up, we're about to dive in and have a race. And in lane one, it's regular water. Nobody wants to be in lane 1 or lane 8 because there's waves that hit off and there's current. The closer you are to the edge, the harder it is to swim. Everyone wants to be in the middle. Fastest swimmers always earn the middle. And it's an advantage. If you're better in time trials, you get the middle. You don't have currents coming off the wall against you, right? But lane 1, let's just say there's no currents, there's no walls. You're in a lake, whatever. It's normal. Lane 2, there's a little jet behind you pushing. That lane's got flow going at your backside. You're swimming downstream. Lane 3, you got to swim upstream. Lane 4, it's normal. Lane 5, downstream. Lane 6, upstream. It wouldn't be fair, would it? It would not be fair. Well, when you teach people when you don't tell them about warm market, it's like not telling them there's different lane speeds. It's like you don't tell them, hey, by the way, lane 2, there's a current. You're swimming downstream. Jump in lane 2. It's easier to succeed in lane 2. You tell them, oh, no, you should do cold marketing, blast a bunch of emails. You're basically telling them jump in lane 3 where the current's against them and the odds of them having success are slim and none. Because you're telling them, you should do that. That's what you should do. I don't want to talk to my warm market either. Okay, why don't you just tell them to not jump in the pool? And lane 4 is you don't say anything and you hope they will and talk to their network. The key is warm market, local market is you've got the current going with you, not against you. You're not swimming upstream, you're swimming downstream. All right, so the prerequisites. It's real simple. To succeed as a broker, there's a minimum number of things you've got to agree with. If you don't agree with these, you should quit the business. And that's not to be rude. It's just the fact. I'm going to read them. You tell me if you're here, so you get it, but you can see why this needs. And it says, part 1, funding broker. I want to help business owners obtain the right funding. Yes, not just funding. Mission and mindset. It actually says on the new one, because I updated that to say my minimum mindset to be a broker. So it changed. It says, I believe helping small business obtain capital is meaningful work, as they're the front line of capitalism, and most who fail state, well, you know what? I'm just going to show you this. You now understand the value. So I'm going to share my screen, and you can look at it with me. Okay? Is that on screen?
It is.
Yeah. See how it says minimum mindset prerequisites to be a broker? I changed that. It did before. It just said mindset mission. See, Harlequin, I added some changes to make. All right. I believe helping small business obtain capital is meaningful work, as they're the front line of capitalism. Most who fail states because of lack of access to capital. Can you say yes to that? Can you check that box? Could. Continue. If not, you should quit or believe it. Decide to change your mindset or quit. I understand that only 10% of business can get approved at their bank because collateral is required, plus other qualifications that make it difficult. Do you believe that? Yes or no? No, I don't believe that, Dave. You always say that. I don't believe it. You should probably quit. Number 3, I understand our role is to educate business owners first and recommend the funding option that best fits their situation. No way, dude. I just want to make a commission. You should probably quit. I'm willing to consistently talk with businesses. No, I don't want to talk to businesses about this. I'd rather be a secret agent. You should probably quit. Not quit, stop working with us and go do something else. Don't look at it as quitting. Say, I don't believe. I'm only going to do something where I believe, right? If you don't believe all these things, these are the minimum to succeed. I'm telling you. I'm willing to begin with my warm market and existing relationships. No, not me. Okay, you should probably go do something where you are. Could you imagine opening a restaurant or Ellen Wynn's limo company saying, I'm not willing to drive any of my friends? The pizza shop she owned, I'm not willing to sell pizza to any of my friends and family. I don't want to take their money. That'd be ridiculous. I'm not willing to talk to my warm market about business funding. Why? Well, that's called a tell. That means you don't believe, you don't have the minimum mindset, you don't have the minimum prerequisite, you should not be a broker. And I understand that if I choose not to work my warm market and local market, I no longer have as much competitive advantage, and it will likely be significantly harder to consistently generate funding opportunities. Experts say warm and local market is 10 times easier, so it'll take 10 times the conversations to get a funding outside my warm and local market. In fact, I think it's more like 15 or 20 in our space, because this is business funding. It's not protein bars, right? So it's a lot harder to get a customer to trust and sign up. So where local market is simple compared to cold market. I'm committed to building relationships, not chasing transactions. If you don't subscribe to any of these are the minimum mindset requirements. You should not be a broker. Okay. That's real simple. If you don't believe those, then you should not believe a broker. You should not become a broker. That's the minimum. Product knowledge. I understand our funding products at a high level. I understand how to explain the cost of capital and why businesses choose alternative funding and know the difference between debt and leverage. Now, you may go, I don't know that right now. Okay, well, you need to go watch the funding training again. I understand the basic lender qualifications, time in business, monthly revenue, FICO score, etc. Yes or no? I understand how NSFs and negative days can affect approvals. I understand how MCA loans can affect approval amounts, affordability, second position funding, right? These are all talked about in our funding training. I understand when a traditional bank loan or line of credit is a better recommendation if they can get approved and if they have the time to wait. We're not the best funding source for someone if they can get it at the bank or they can get a regular line of credit and they don't mind waiting. We're going to charge them more. You may earn a commission, but you're putting them in a bad situation. You have to understand sometimes we're not the best fit and we take care of a customer. We don't hurt them. They'll refer us when we take care and say, we're not the best fit. And by the way, there's always going to come a time where they can't wait for the bank and they'll use you because you took care of them when they could get the bank loan. I know how to properly use Bank Breezy and submit a complete funding package. I understand that even if someone is aware of revenue-based fundings, they need to know about Bank Breezy because our network of competing lenders delivers the best odds and highest approvals at lowest costs. Right now, about 7% of all businesses in America have an MCA today. About 35% already know about them. When we started 11 years ago, it was about 10% knew about them, and that's it. So we had to educate that it existed. But right now, 1 in 3 is already aware of it. About 50% of them have a bad taste in their mouth because they get paneled, they get pitched constantly by our industry negatively, BS ads, BS texts. Hey, I got your approval offer from your application. Where should I send the offer? BS texts like that. It's BS. I didn't even apply, and I get that 10 to 15 times a week. I'll get a text like that. Somehow I'm on a lead list somewhere. So they have we have to tell them about Bank Breezy platform. And that's why working local is so critical. You're not just another online, over the phone, over the text peddler of your high commission product, which is the reputation. In my local community, I've got people willing to divulge to me now. They're like, Dave, can you show me? At first, I thought you were like the people that text me all the time. Can you show me how to get that to stop? I'm sick and tired of these people texting me weekly. It's like I'm on some list. I get texts all the time, right? How do I get it to stop? That's what they may not tell you that, but that's what you're up against. So local market is how you beat the pants off all this people in the industry giving us a bad name. I'm committed to being a trusted funding resource for the business owners I know. Some of you don't want to be a trusted business funding resource for people you know. You shouldn't be a broker. You shouldn't be. This is common sense, simple stuff. It's like Ellen saying, I am committed to having safe vehicles, courteous people who operate with integrity and politeness and great customer service pick up anyone who's going to get in my cars. No, I'm going to take anyone who wants to drive today, and the cars are going to be filthy, dirty, and maybe low. Hey, we got to stop for gas. Sorry, I didn't get gas before. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. I remember, Ellen, you'll get a kick out of this. When I was a senior in high school, my buddy's dad owned a hair salon, but he was in the same retail strip of a title company, and the title company had 3 limos. And they would always use those limos to support their customers. And one day it was prom week and they needed some prom drivers. So goes to my buddy Lou, my buddy Greg, his dad's name was Lou, and says, hey, Lou, will your son drive one of my limos for me? He's a nice kid, sharp young man. I need some people to drive these prom dates. Yeah. So my buddy Greg gets one job, and then another prom comes up. And he goes, hey, Lou, do you know anyone else? Yeah. My son's friend, Dave, good young man. He's the guy you want. So he calls me. You want to drive a limo next Saturday? Sure. Where am I going? You're going to take a prom. Love it. Phone in the back of the car. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm driving this stretch limo, and first of all, there's no maps. They tell me it's at South Telegraph Road, and I'm like, okay, where's that at? And they're like, it's down by the airport. They told me it's down by the airport. I didn't look it up on my own. I pick them up. We drive all the way down to the airport, self-telegraph. Can't find the place. Can't find the place. I'm an immature child driving. Ellen would have fired me like this. I was just excited to have the job. I had my suit on. I'm all by the airport. I finally called the hall. They go, dude, you're an hour from us. We're way up by Pontiac. You're down in Detroit at the airport? No, yeah, turn around. We're on South Telegraph Road. Yeah, no, it's south. Yeah, but we're at the north part of we're at the north end of Telegraph. It's called South Telegraph Road. Okay. So I drive them. I get them an hour late to the prom. Then what do? I get in the back. I don't know. Cell phones have a high cost. I call my buddies. Hey, I got a limo. You want to go for a ride? I'll pick you up. At this prom, I'll pick you up. I'm making all these phone calls. I get in the car, I go pick up my friends. We go to Taco Bell. We go driving. All of a sudden, I get a call. Dave, where are you? The prom's over. We need to go to the. I won't go through the rest of the story, but I was like, I'm committed to becoming a trusted driver. No, I wasn't. I was bad. I never drove for that guy again. Right? I was a bad driver. I did not know what I didn't know. We got brokers like that. They should not be involved with it. They give us a bad name. Certification is meant to end that, but unfortunately, 1 out of 3 of our brokers get certified. 2 out of 3 sign up and don't get certified. I hope they're not talking to clients, frankly. I hope they're not representing us. I hope they're not saying anything to anybody about DAC because they're like me in that limo. Just someone who didn't know what I didn't know. Right? Ellen's a pro in her limo business. I'm a pro in this funding business. Ellen's a pro in the funding business too, by the way. Just using that example because she did our call earlier. Be a pro in this space. Be committed to being a trusted funding resource. Know the difference between debt and leverage, everything we talked about up here. Know all this stuff. That's it. If you know this, you can be an effective broker. That's all you have to know. Now go do it. And don't forget, I will talk to people in my local community. I am knowledgeable about it, right? So if you can't answer yes to these prerequisites, you're not really a broker yet. You're just someone behind the wheel. You're someone with the suit on. You got the certification paper, but you don't believe all this stuff. You know how to use the cell phone. You don't realize it's running up a bill. You don't realize you're giving the company a bad name, but you are. We'd rather you not be a part of DAC. All right. We're not going to put a $10,000 fee in to get only the serious people because I don't believe in that. But I don't want the non-serious people putting our logo anywhere near us or near them. Please don't leave. Go do something else. Find something where you can be that committed person, right? I understand how NSFs work. Oh, basic product knowledge. I understand how to explain the cost of capital, debt versus leverage. I understand lender qualifications. I understand NSS and negative days. I understand how existing MCA loans. I understand when traditional line is better. I already went through all these. Bank Breezy can submit a funded package and why our platform is best for them if they already know about our funding. I'm committed to being a trusted funding. Okay, agency starter. Everything you already saw needs to be on there, right? But in addition to that, I meet all certified broker require commitments that you had up above. Yes. I consistently work on obtaining my own fundings. No, I don't do that. Well, then you're not leading by example. You won't climb the company ladder of commissions. You won't get the highest overrides. So you shouldn't be an agency builder. I'm willing to introduce others to the DAC opportunity to be a broker. I'm willing to help new brokers become certified and productive. I understand personal commissions and roller bonuses, override spreads, long-term business ownership. I recruit because I believe more businesses deserve to be served, not simply to earn overrides. See, you're creating an army of impact makers. And when you think of it that way, you then recruit differently. I understand the duplication begins with my own example, like Ellen in her local limo business we just talked about. She's got Atlanta locked in. She could teach someone how to do Alpharetta or Alabama, Tecumseh, wherever. You can teach others how to do the same thing. I'm willing to coach, encourage, and celebrate others. I understand my long-term goal is to build an agency continues producing, even when I'm not personally involved in every funding. I'm committing to helping both business owners and brokers I refer succeed. This is simple. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to know. Now, some of you go, well, I don't know some of that. No problem. That's why you got to go through the training again. Simple. And local leader. This is the last part. I want to become the trusted funding resource for my community. Market leadership. I meet agency starter commitments, which, of course, we're being a good broker too. I'm willing to commit to one or more defined local markets. I understand my goal is to become known and trusted, not simply to fund deals. This is the key, guys. I've shared with you that I've stopped. I shouldn't say I've stopped. I'm no longer focused on personal outreach because I've always got referrals coming to me. I'm now a trusted and known source in my community. Okay. So once you're known and trusted, we talked about it last week. How big is your list of people you know would call you as their funding person? How big is that list? And you want to grow that. How do you grow that? Become known and trusted. I'm willing to build relationships with local bankers, chamber of commerce leaders, CPAs, attorneys, business coaches, networking groups, community influencers, etc. I'm willing to build and maintain a client list or CRM of businesses within my market who know, like, and trust me and who would use me, right? I'm willing to consistently educate local business about fund leverage versus debt, funding readiness, traditional bank financing, alternative funding options, choosing the right funding solution. I love this part most. That's why I put it in there, because by doing this, you become liked and trusted. The bank managers love me because I promote the heck out of them. I tell everyone I speak in front of, every meeting I get up in front of a chamber meeting and talk, I tell them why you should go use your bank, why you should focus on your bank for funding, when you should go to your bank for funding, and when you should use us. And if you come to me and you're better off suited with the bank, I'm going to refer you there. And if you come to me and you're not, then we're going to help you. And by the way, if you go to the bank and they can't help you, guess who they're going to tell you about? Me. See, we're in partnership together with this. We want to help you. As you say that in front of a few bank managers, and guess what you got? Referrals, 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 referrals. But how do you say it in front of a bank manager when you're not in the chamber? I'm willing to consistently show up in my community every week through networking, outreach, follow-up, and service. That is your outreach method. That is your outreach method. It's that simple. I understand that local market ownership is built through consistency, not intensity. Now, you can add intensity to make it happen, but if you intense this week and you're gone for 3 weeks, they don't know, like, and trust you. If you show up to one chamber meeting and you're not there for another 6 weeks, they assume you're just looking for leads. You're not really interested in helping your community. I sent an email to everyone in my networking group, 24 people today, and I said, please watch this 3-minute video about our broker opportunity, not for any of you to become a broker, although you're welcome to, but because you all know someone who this is a perfect fit for. I know it. I know you all know one person this is a perfect fit for. So please watch the 3.5-minute video and then send my link out to anyone you know. I'd love to help them become a successful broker. And by the way, I'm leading by example right now. I'm encouraging all of you reply to this email with something I can do to learn more about your business so I can refer you to people too. Because some of you have referred a lot of business to, but some of you I haven't, because I don't know who your best ideal candidate is. So please tell me. And maybe let's set up a coffee discussion, because I want to help you grow your business. That's what I ended the email with. So I'm not just asking for a referral. I'm also offering a referral. And I'm asking them, inviting them to tell me more about their business. Why? Because I really do want to help serve them. I understand that local market ownership is built through consistency. I already said that. Consistency, not intensity. I'm willing to build a healthy local agency of active brokers who share the same values and culture. Man, when you got this, guess what happens? Michael, working here, goes, I want to go to the neighboring town and I'm going to join that chamber, and I'm going to start leading that market, and I'm going to build a team over there. I'm going to take care of every business in that neighboring town 15 miles away. I know, and we'll get together at Starbucks. Hey, I'll meet you in Novi. We'll do the Novi. Let's join the Novi chamber. Let's go. Let's do it. I understand that a smaller active team is more valuable than a large inactive organization. I'm willing to identify, mentor, and develop future local leaders who can successfully steward neighboring communities. I'm committed to protecting the local leader culture, which is education before selling, service before commission, integrity over shortcuts, leadership by example, long-term relationships over short-term transactions. I'm turning people off who hear this. Precisely. I want to turn you off if you don't believe this. I want you to say this isn't for me. Rather than putting a high dollar amount, I'd rather say, this is what I'm committed to. Are you or aren't you? If you're not, then don't be a local leader, because you're not a local leader. You're someone who's got commission breath in my eyes. I don't want you on the team, right? If you do all this, you'll make a lot more and you'll represent the company well. I understand that my ultimate goal is to build a long-term business asset that serves my community, strengthens local businesses, creates lasting passive income through consistent stewardship. Come on now. That's what this business ownership block is all about. And the last thing, I'm committed to stewarding my local business community and building an agency and continue serving long after I'm no longer doing all the work myself, and long after I'm dead. Long after I'm dead. Why do I say that? You know, Marla, I've got long-term disability signed up. where if something happens to me until I'm 65, I get a check for like $9,000, right? To just have money coming in. It's called SMART. I'm self-employed. But I said to Marlo, I'm making a lot more than that in passive overrides, and that doesn't go away. I make a lot more than that monthly in passive overrides without getting a personal client, without ever having to do anything else. So do we really need this? Well, it's still smart to have for the cost. I pay very little for it. And I got it long before my passive overrides were there. So it's smart, but it ends at 65. What happens when you're 72? What happens when you're 79? What happens when you're 85? What happens when you're 88 and you need assisted living home, which we're dealing with my mother-in-law right now, who's upstairs in my office, which is now her bedroom until next week when we move into her assisted living. And it's costly. What happens if you're not earning the income to do that? Get after it now. Build an agency now. Have yourself positioned now so that you can look back and go, I don't need that insurance, because the income survives you. It's better than a pension. It's better than Social Security. It's better than all that. I've got an agency that's productive every week. That's what you're here to do, is go to this end of the quadrants. Why are we free? We want to give everyone the chance to go from here to there immediately, and then from here to there immediately. I've got a young man who's upstairs right now. He's staying with us. It's my daughter's boyfriend. He lives in Minnesota. He's staying at our house because he wants to be a dentist, and he's shadowing a dentist, Christian dentist locally, who said, hey, have him come work with me. And so he's staying in our guest room, and he goes and shadows at the dentist. And my daughter and him are going to study in Greece the first semester. Well, it's a lot of money for Greece. And he's like, I'm the cost of that. I said, listen, you need to become a broker. You need to refer some clients. You'll pay for your $12,000 Greece with 3 or 4 clients. Or you can pay for it, because he's going to go to dental school after that. You can pay for it with student loans for the next 25 years. You could choose. The choice is yours. But I say a few relationships is a lot better than 20 years of student loans. Don't you? I'm signing up Saturday. How do I do this Saturday? I'm going to go Saturday. I'm getting signed up. And he's working at the dentist's office. He's working serving tables. He's working constantly, but he's saying what? That's smart, David. Let me get myself certified and start talking to some clients. It's called SMART. Now, did that just happen, or did someone speak some truth into him to say, yeah, that's smart. It's great that they'll offer you a student loan, but it's not smart to have to pay for it for 20 years. Earn it like that. Get it by the time you get home from Greece. That can already, before you even go, you can already have it paid for. And some of you don't have your retirement set up yet, and you don't have an agency yet. You haven't done agency starter yet. You haven't been focused on your local leadership yet, and you want to have financial freedom, but you're not doing what it takes. You're not living the prerequisites out. So it's real simple. I encourage you all to live out the prerequisites, and you'll have the success. Stick and stay, don't quit. Stick and stay to grow your pay. It's really simple. But stick isn't just go, I'm here. Stay doesn't just mean I'm on the Zoom again. It means you're living this. If you're living these steps, and by the way, this is all shared, and it's been shared for 11 years. It's just now on one document. And by the way, it's already in your back office. I'm sorry, it's already in the resource center under team building. It's under team building, under the resources. Let me show you how to get there real quick. Share screen, desktop, that's Zoom. Bear with me. And we're going to go to, what's it called? DAC training. Once you're in DAC training, you go to the Zoom boxes in my way. You go to resources, and then you go to team building right here. And what do you see under team building? Prerequisites right there. You click prerequisites, and what do you got? There it is. Arlequin, you're welcome. Thank you so much for encouraging me. So that's where you find it. Team building. Okay. Let's go to your questions or comments. And don't forget, every one of you have the path forward. You have the plan forward. You have the potential forward. You just have to bring the enthusiasm, the hope, and the encouragement, and walk the steps. And you will walk the path. And you will eventually have an agency team who's productive, especially if you're asking these questions right away. Who's got a question or comment for us?
We have Carmen. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you, Morgan.
Oh, I just think it's so wonderful. Thank you, Miss Harlequin, and thank you, David. This is wonderful. You've got it all together, making it. I can print it out. I'm just so happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to say, and have a wonderful weekend. God bless you both.
God bless you.
Thank
and
you.
by the way, the new certification training that'll be going live will have funding involved in it. It's going to have most of these prerequisites you have to answer, you have to understand already, at least, as far as being a broker, not necessarily agency expansion, but being a broker, you got to understand it all before you become certified. Anyone else with a question or comment?
Orlando, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
David, how are you this afternoon? As always,
Great, buddy. Thank you.
This is a fantastic training, wealth building, business building, mindset building, everything rolled into one. That could have cost $10,000 just for us all to be sitting in a seat here, but you and Alan and everybody else give it to us for free. I even marvel at the enormous value that being in this community, being with DAC brings, and just how fortunate we are. And by all means, we have, if we get it, we just have to, and I just say this to myself primarily, just keep digging in and make this work, because it's a blessing. It is a blessing just to be given to us. So I wanted to share that, and thank you for the training. And also, I can't wait to get my hands on that document, because I'm going to be living with that document. I didn't know it was there, but I'm going to be living with that document just to reinforce, just to, the principles. A lot of them I already know because I've been through this a long time, but you can't help but continue to absorb that into your system, into your psyche, to make it who you are, instead of just a document in the back office somewhere. So I just wanted to thank you and Harlequin for articulating it in a way that we can just know automatically what we need to do in terms of being successful at DAC. That's all I got to say, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Orlando, and you bring so much wisdom. We did a local leadership event a few months ago, and we went through actually how to diagnose where they stand, prescribe right medication. If someone says, and you can ask them, do you want to be a broker? Do you want to be a local leader? And those describe the different actions you take them through. Obviously, getting certified is required for both, but then they need to know about these other prerequisites of building a team, benefits a team, comp plan, all those other things, so they can move into local leader. And you don't have to make them do all that if they're going, no, I just want to be a broker. Right. And so this helps you have a path based on their answers of which one are you. Right. But that's part one. Part two, don't forget, income spent on expenses is freedom forgiven. You just don't get it. Income spent on assets that produce more income is investing. Spending, investing. Time spent on a job where you earn is time spent. Time invested into a business where you build something that pays you perpetually is investment. Should you spend money or invest money? Invest. Should you spend time or invest time? Invest. One pays you down the road, one doesn't. Some people have great jobs. They spend time to make a good paycheck. They have a good job, but they got to spend time to get the money. Hopefully, they're not spending the money on expenses. Hopefully, they're spending money on investments that at least the investment will pay them, because their time won't. They spent that. But when you invest time into a business like this, you're investing time, you earn money now, but you invested time, which is in an income producing asset called an agency, that will pay you perpetually. So don't say, well, it's not guaranteed, it's not easy. Of course it's not easy. Try building a high. I'm going to give you all the money in the world to go build a high rise, and we get to share the rent together. We're going to share the rent. We're going to build a Trump Tower. It's going to be called Our Tower. Our Tower, right in downtown Manhattan. I'll pay for it. All you got to do is do all the work to build it, and we'll split the rent. 99.99999% don't even want to handle the landscaping of the building, let alone building the building. Do you know what Trump had to go through to build a tower? Do you know what he had to go through to build a building? Do you know what I need to go through in permits and time just to be able to build the place? People can't even comprehend the business experience of a business man or woman who's built from nothing to something. They don't even understand it, can't even fathom it. They just know they show up to their job on time and they want to get paid. They can't even understand it. You building this business is not going to be easy. Nothing is. Having a healthy body is not easy. It takes discipline and intelligence. Having a healthy business takes discipline, intelligence. We've just created a path like a franchise, but you got to be willing to walk the path. This is the path. Choose quickly. Do I want to or not? Do I want to be a business owner with time freedom? Do I want this so that I can also be an investor of money and investing my time? Be self-employed with us, but invest your time into something to make you business owner. Don't invest your time into something to get you paid, and that's it. Don't just be just a broker. You get to be. Maybe you got another way to take care of this, but don't put yourself in a position where you can't have this, or you'll never have financial freedom. You'll never have financial freedom unless you're investing that money. Somewhere it's got to be invested. You got to have an investment either of your money or your time. You have to. You can't become self-employed. You can't become financially free just by spending money and spending time. You have to turn into an investor of your time and your money. A couple other comments from people, and then we'll end.
Yes, we have Suzanne. You can go ahead, Suzanne.
Good morning. Thank you for all the good information, Harlequin. Thank you for all the effort that you put forward to get that document done. Kudos to you, because I couldn't do that. And, it is such an amazing opportunity. Last week, I had 3 previous clients all reach out one for new funding, and then obviously now a previous client for new funding, and then 2 previous clients. I don't know if they've taken it. I know they have proposals. One, it wasn't going to work for her. Fine. Wade and the team did everything they could to explain exactly what she needed to get her information. And like I told her, it may not be right for you today, but if you see an opportunity to grow your business where it does make sense for you, we'd love to have you as a client, and we'll do everything we can to help you. So not everyone will become a client, but if you don't talk to them, we're sure they're not going to become a client. And I just saw her at a trade show, gave her a card, told her a little bit about what we did a year and a half ago. She's from Hawaii. I met her in Dallas. And so I still think this is the most amazing business opportunity and shockingly easy. And I love that David, and I do not use the L word very frequently, but I love his honesty of saying, look, you may have to talk to 100 people to get 10. That has not been my experience. To me, it's crazy. I hand them a card. I tell them, did you know 90% of business owners who need cash, their bank can't help them with it? We come alongside the banks when your bank can't help you. And I have gotten clients from that. Really, that's all the effort I put into, and maybe make a phone call or 2. I'm not saying do that. Obviously, I think the local leader, I've got to join my chamber and start getting out there, because I firmly believe, here's my fear. I hope y'all all have the same fear. I'm going to recruit someone, and David, I need you to talk to someone for me, because they're a very heavy hitter, and he's not going to listen to his sister, okay? But if I recruit him, he's going to pass me up so fast and be that local leader, I'll never catch him. Okay. So my fear is I've got to get out there and do it before I'm passed by my own sibling, right? And I hope all y'all have someone in your life that you're like, dang, I need this guy or this girl, because you don't want to be passed up. You don't want to go somewhere and go, man, I heard about that 3 years ago. And look at this person. They're now the Coldwell banker or the Remax person in the funding industry in my city, in my town, in my state. And it could have been me, but it wasn't. Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Amen.
So that's my encouragement.
Suzanne, thank you for the encouragement. And I'll just say this, as you talk about being passed up, you said a couple things there. Number one, they're in your agency, so you can't be passed up. You earn out. You recruit me. You, no matter what, earn 4% of all my funding, not just once, forever, and you can't pass me up. So that's number one. You can't pass me up. Now, Can you climb the personal commission ladder faster than me? And so I don't earn override spreads on you? Yeah, that's not a problem. You get 4%. You don't wait because of what you just said. What if they join under someone else? And now, not only did they not pass you up, they did pass you up because they're not in your agency. Now they actually did pass you up because you didn't tell them about it. And you mentioned an interesting point. There was a time before Century 21 in Real Estate One where there wasn't such a thing called a real estate agent. Do you know that? Do you know there was a time it didn't take a license to sell homes? Do you know there was a time it didn't have a license to do a mortgage? Do you know there was a time there weren't mortgages? Do you know there was a time there weren't credit cards? Do you know there was a time there weren't real estate agents? And there were just attorneys who would look at transactions, and you would just transfer the title to the home. And then it started getting to the point where someone said, I'm going to start doing this in advertising. And they did it so much, they said, we got to restrict this with a license because people are misleading customers and they're sending text out and they're doing all the crap that our MCA industry is doing right now and giving us a bad name. I can't wait for it to be licensed. I want our industry to become licensed. I want it to be licensed like yesterday. And there will be a time when every town will have a small business funding agency like DAC. It's just not there yet. So be the one. I'm promising you, I'm going to be the one in my town. There's a local lender who just was at our chamber and someone said, hey, someone wants to meet you. They just started a funding company out of Detroit and they heard about you. They want to meet you. And I'm like, competition? No, they're a funder. We've already got funders in our town, but he's in our town. I'm already there. Everyone in the chamber already knows I've been there. I already care. Why does he want to meet me? He wants to become part of Bank Breezy because he knows he comes around. Everyone's already got a guy. They already got a guy. Your town's going to have a guy or a girl. Hopefully it's you or one of your team. So don't wait to recruit that heavy hitter. And Ellen, I'm sure, was saying, Harlequin, many people, Dexter, a lot of people are saying, Wade, three-way call, three-way call, three-way call. Anytime you have someone who's a heavy hitter or you feel may run faster than you, this is when you do a three-way meeting or three-way call. Say, I want to introduce you to the person who's training me. I want to introduce you to the local leader who's helping me. That's one of the responsibilities of a local leader is you do three-way calls with your team. You're willing to do three-way calls with your team. Okay. So make certain that you don't wait, that you do it. There will come a time when there's licensed agents in every city. And there'll be offices like Century 21 and EXP and Colo Banker and Real Estate One. And there'll be all those, but they'll all be funding spaces. But it won't matter because you'll already have 30 markets. And we are the Century 21. It's just coming along. Nobody knows who we are yet, but nobody knew who Century 21 was until they were. Nobody knew who EXP was until they were. And now they're number one in the world. Nobody knows who DAC is in your agency yet, but they will. And we just want to make sure you're a part of it, not just knew about it, heard about it, but you actually planted your flag in your town. And it can handle the winds. It's planted. It's rooted. It can't be bogged out by some other lender, some other broker. They have to join your team because they can't compete with you. All right. Harlequin, how you doing?
Hey, David. Sorry, I'm driving at the moment. I'm actually on my way to go meet with one of my brokers to celebrate his birthday. And then I've got a one-on-one, and then I'm meeting with my connector network this evening. But first off, I do want to make something very clear. I did not create that document. David did. I just kept on bugging him to release it. So I don't want to take credit when credit is not due in any way, shape, or form. But I do want to share the reason why I've been...
Wait. Before you stop, learning lesson for everyone. Leadership is about perspective management, and Harlequin managed my perspective. She reminded me over the last 72 hours, 4 times, how important it is that this document gets out there. Not just once. Once followed up by a, hey, quick reminder. Today, all she sent was a sunshine. a sunshine icon. That's all she sent. Basically, I'm still here. I'm still here. And I'm just reminding you again and I said, I'm talking about it Friday. It's going to be released on the Friday call. Thank you. So perspective management, guys, is all leadership is. Telling them about the cruise, reminding them about the cruise. That's leadership. Harlequin, take credit. You led me to having this live. This would not be here today had you not reached out to me 3 days ago and encouraged it to be live. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I'm going to share with you why I've been reaching out to you. Everybody knows I got involved in a group that was helping business owners get ready for the World Cup. I've talked about it multiple times. Well, that was just a small part of the overall plan for this group. And they're actively in the process of setting up a business incubator as well as a economic development hub for an area in the city of Atlanta. They're going to use that as a test case and expand it to other areas of the city. But they're taking over an old school that was empty. But I have been attending since January every single Saturday morning. It's a 3-hour class on business development and helping, I went to school for economic development. That was what I wanted to do. And this is allowing me to do it in my community. But with these classes, the class even voted to have class on 4th of July. That's how dedicated these business owners are to learning how to expand and grow their businesses. And anyways, that's where it came from, because we were tasked with, we need to go and systematize our business and have systems in place so that we can expand and grow our business. So that's why I was wanting to have that document. So David, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Great example. Way to lead by example, Harlequin. And we got Dexter with his hand up, then Orlando, and then I got one parting thought, and we're done. Go ahead, Dexter. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you, David?
Better than good.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, of course.
Hey, it's been a while since I had something to say to everybody, but gosh, good morning, good afternoon. Got an echo going on. Let me turn my phone on. Okay. Yeah. So wow, I think there's about 39 or 40 points. I just counted the points on this form here, the document that you put out, which is amazing, by the way, and I'll make this real quick. I'm going to call those the commandments, because not in a negative sense, they're a guideline to how to exist in this space that we're in this ecosystem. And I want to talk to not only the people that are always on, but some of the new people that are here. If you're lucky to be here and you're new, this was a great call to be on. You got the commandments. I tell the people the brokers that I bring on about this, it is just simply culture. This is our culture, and this is our family, and this is our culture. This is what we believe. This is how we feel. This is how I feel. I'm successful here. Am I successful beyond my belief? No, because my beliefs are very high, and I want to be extremely, extremely successful. But I'm successful because I believe in myself, and I believe in this culture. And if you don't believe in yourself, for one, and you don't believe in this culture, you can believe in yourself, but if you don't buy into this culture that we're in, this ecosystem of our mission statement, business owners are rock stars, that we die with that. That is our heart. If you don't look at that business owner, you don't feel for him and his family and what he's trying to do with the funding that he's earning and that he's acquiring and that he's applying for, you got to look beyond him just giving him cash. What is he going to do with that cash? Okay, you got to believe that they're rock stars, and you got to believe that our mission statement is to introduce ourselves, to educate, and to become a resource. It's not that difficult. It's just not a selling tool. This is not a mind screw. This is not like, oh, put the pressure to a customer so you can get as much out of them as you can. That's not our culture. I'm sorry. Our culture is a culture of embracement and belief and love. This is our company. David made it so it is our company. It is not his company. This is our space. That's our culture. And everyone here, now you got it in black and white. This is what we believe in. I believe it before he put it in boxes. I believe that. And it took me a year and a half. And I beat myself to death trying to do it the wrong way because I've been to the Super Bowl. I've won trips on cruises. I've Dexter. I've done this. I've mastered selling, put the pen in front, take the pen back, put the paper. I've mastered all that. None of it works. Until I humbled myself and said, can I really help this guy? And I think I can. And then just embrace him and her and enjoy the joy of accomplishing something that's going to be so powerful for that business owner. That's culture. That's a different mindset. That's a different twist on it. It's not me, me, me. It's about love. Embrace it, because if you do not, you might have some success, but you won't have the ultimate success, which is in the heart. It's not in the mind. Making money is in the mind. Embracing someone and loving someone is in the heart and it's spiritual. So, hey, hallelujah, amen. I love this culture.
Man, I love
That's
that.
it. I love this culture.
We gotta wrap that puppy up in a bow and
I
send
love
that
this
out
culture.
to every broker. That's awesome. Great stuff, Dexter. Love it. Nothing to add to that. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Dexter, first off, amen, amen, and amen to that, man. That was outstanding as always. I'm coming back one more time. I didn't get on the early part of the call to talk about, things that I'm doing, but in the last couple of days, I've attended two networking meetings. These are BNI meetings, and I got to share the DAC story, meet, greet, and inform amongst 50 people, 50 business owners who were in the room. Of that, I've gotten over 30 business cards, and I've already set up for this coming week, almost every day this week, one-to-ones with people. Because here's the powerful thing that I have found. I've networked many times in different capacities when I was a financial advisor, broker, things of that nature. But here's what stands apart, and I tell people this is where our confidence is. There is no other company that does business funding the way we do. The 9 and 10 business owners, the banker was in the room, and I have a meeting with a banker who said, "Man, I need to talk to you because I turned down a lot of business because we can't help them. I do SBA loans, I do regular business loans, but I can't help them, and I don't know what to do. I have to turn them out." So I said, "No problem. I got your answer. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's strategize how we're going to make this work and everything else." And so I just tell you this: anytime I go to a networking event, um, I have confidence. I have confidence in the company, what we represent, and that we are really a solution provider to those businesses out there that are looking for funding. Does it happen overnight? No. But to me, my mission every day is meet, greet, and inform. This week I met, greeted, and informed. And as a result, I have one-to-ones that are set up pretty much all next week and into the following week for those that I couldn't schedule for next week then. So I just want to say that we have something very powerful. We can help business owners. I come with a servant's heart and a mindset. I think people get that. And that's what I think is just going to continue to turn everything into gold for all of us that lean in and do this business here. So, David, I thank you again for this extraordinary business. Let's rock on. And and one other thing I'll mention, I also picked up leads off of LinkedIn. I do a lot of communicating with people on LinkedIn. So just on that alone, I have a couple of meetings coming out of LinkedIn, just by reaching out, greeting, and informing, that kind of stuff. And so this has been a better week because I've probably in total talked to at least got the message of DAC out to at least 70 plus business owners and people and things of that nature, which will culminate into other meetings
Beautiful.
and funding somewhere, somewhere in that crowd. So, and
Love it,
funding's in
love
that
it, love
crowd.
it. All right.
Yes.
Let me bring us home. Thank you,
Thank you.
Orlando.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the contribution, everybody. Ellen, great job with the earlier huddle. Everything you share every week. And that goes out to all the QBs, every huddle team. Encourage you to be on it or bring your team to it. You never know when something's going to happen that it's a mind change for people. I had someone on earlier comment here, I don't have my glasses on now, says, I love these huddles. They help me build my mindset. They help me learn things to say. So that's what this is all about. We're always educating. We only win when you win. We don't make $1 till you make $10. It is just the way it is. We want to help you make 1,000 so we can make 100, then make 100,000 so we can make 10,000, right? That's our whole model. And it's got to be success performance-based. We ask you to be in a performance-based comp plan. Guess what? DAC's profitability is performance-based. We don't earn by getting you excited to buy something. We only earn when you first earn. That is very difficult because it's a lot easier to get 1,000 people to invest $1,000 than to get 1,000 people to work. 1,000 people investing 1,000 is $1 million. It's not hard to do. It's hard selling programs and all these other things. We know how to do it, right? But we're not here to make $1 million on people. We're here to make $1 million by helping you make 10 million, by setting you free, by setting business owners free with our product. So every one of you has an opportunity. You all know it. Invest, don't spend. Invest, don't spend. Invest your time, don't spend your time. Invest your money, don't spend your money. Obviously, you got to cover some bills, but eventually get to the point where everything you're making is going into investments, and investments into freedom, investments into currency and of lifestyle, investments into travel, investments into assets, other assets that make you money, like a portfolio, etc. Don't just spend time, invest it. Build your business. We've got your back. This has got a version on it of today's date. I already know 3 changes I'm going to make to it because I forgot to put on here the 3-way call. It was on the original document that you know that to use 3-way calls when you have a client who has a question you don't know how to answer yet. You're a broker. It's okay to refer to your local leader. And that's not on here under the prerequisites of, or the commitments, the culture, Dexter, I love it, of a broker. That's going to be added. And also an agency builders and local leaders going to have to be willing to do 3-way calls with their team. So that's going to be added. So look for that. So always check the date. I wouldn't print it yet. That'll be updated within 10 minutes. And then it'll be changed. But there will always be things we modify in this. So just look at the version date. It's on the bottom of the document right there. It'll show the version. And then you know whether you got the most recent one. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Go into next week. Be on the huddles. Have your team and get yourself registered for that cruise if you aren't already. I'd hate for it to be sold out and you not have a spot on the cruise. And most of all, plant your flag in your local town. It's a spiritual thing.